Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series America Challenger Edition. I'm Nathanius, joined by Rotterdam once again to bring you only the highest quality USDA-approved, homegrown, cage-free ZVZ that you've come to know and love.
Will it be, though, Nate? Will it be? Because this is going to be an interesting series, guys. Of course, semifinals is always a big deal. Players want to advance to the finals, but at the same time, some players are also like, you know what? I did secure my top 4 finish. I am going to get seeded into that round of 32 of Valencia. I will have that all expenses trip covered, so that's already a very big deal. And let's not forget, we mentioned this before on the broadcast, she said it herself as well, Scarlett is playing these games from China. Now, playing as EVP from China is absolutely not easy, don't get me wrong, but her experience truly carried her through in that series. Now, playing as ZVZ from China though, Nate, how do you even do that? Do you go like gasless roach or something?
I have no idea. I expect to see True bring out heavy aggression. And you know what? That plays to True's style. He loves Ling Bane. It's like his cornerstone. He is so good at Zergling control, and, you know, consequently, Baneling control becomes an important factor in that for Zerg versus Zerg. And Scarlett having to play with that delay, you talked about it before. In ZVP, it's like, okay, you're moving big amounts of units around. Yep. You're not doing anything like marine splitting, but you are going to do that in ZVZ.
Yeah, if I was Scarlett, I would probably try to go for a couple of gasless openings and go for a wall off as quickly as possible, have queens in hold position, throw up the safety spine for all I care, and then move into that roach phase as quickly as possible. But how are you supposed to survive that Ling Bane phase, Nate? I think you have to avoid it.
That's what we're going to find out. Also, interesting to note, we're going to start this best of 5 on Redshift, and we have not seen many games in WCS on this map. It's time for Scarlett versus True, ladies and gentlemen, as we are loaded in the bottom position of Redshift. We have the blue Zerg player. She is Scarlett.
And on the left top side of good old Redshift, we're looking at a man who hasn't built an Overlord yet, and he's sending out a drone towards that gold base. It is our one and only representative of Psystorm Gaming. It is True.
Are we surprised, Roddy? Are we surprised True's taken the gold base before an Overlord?
I'm not.
No.
Because obviously I think he's also not too worried about Scarlett playing with Banelings early on. Technically, if you have a couple Banelings, you could manually detonate them from the other side and they can still connect with the drones. But once again, we are not expecting Scarlett to build a whole lot of Banelings. I'm just going to switch up my scoreboard real quick. Otherwise, people will get very confused about what's going on in this EVZ.
Yep.
Now, there is obviously a good chance that True does decide to build an insane amount of units early on because he has an additional income from the gold. We'll probably transfer roughly 8 drones to that gold as quickly as possible as well. Scarlett is taking her own gold, by the way, Nate. Okay.
I like it. I like it. Confident.
You know what would be really cool? If True plays Ling Bane and then he gets a queen and then he pops the queen like pop over the mineral patch and then you get queen harassed.
I like that sound effect, Kev. I like that sound effect. Yeah, you guys don't know, you can actually use the spawn creep tumor ability to push a queen through the mineral patches on this map, which in this specific scenario would be quite useful because you could use it to get to the other side of that mineral line and attack the opposing player's gold base, assuming, of course, that you have some lings available to defend your queen should your queen fall under assault.
Okay, I think that he's already, True that is already going to build a spine crawler on. Oh, this is going to be fun, Nate. This is going to be fun. Now, Scarlett is getting her own defensive spine crawler.
But the spine crawler can't hit across the minerals the same way that True's will be able to, right?
Yeah, how do you mean?
Well, I mean, the spine crawler won't be past the minerals. So 2 of the patches should be within range of the spine without being able to be attacked.
No, solid point there indeed. Of course, these 2 patches are a little bit further forward, so technically if the spine is right here on the edge, the spine will be able to hit the drones, but this spine will not be able to hit the spine of True. And I never thought I'd be busting out analysis like that, but it is actually happening, Nate.
Yep, this is the world we live in now. This is StarCraft 2.
Okay, we can already see Scarlett indeed playing a little different than we normally expect. No Ling speed, no Baneling nest, straight into Lair and Roaches, that Evo Chamber as well, so potentially a very quick +1. We're going to keep a close eye. This is going to be so funny, Nate.
So there I mean, without a creep tumor, though.
Yeah, but he can actually just put it on the edge here. Is that enough?
I do think that'll be in range.
Okay.
I do think that will be in range of the spine. Maybe if it was all the way to the right side, He's checking with the tower, and I think he's like asking himself, he's like, can I though?
Couple banelings as well. Here are those banelings that we mentioned before.
I like that. Use the banes, hit the mineral. You can detonate them from the other side of the mineral patch and blow up the drones.
Can they connect with the spine?
Oh my god, he actually can. Wow, okay, so his spine will win the duel. Oh, what?
True.
Oh.
And now a bunch of Lings are running into the main base as well. Let's not ignore about this. This could very well be the end of game number 1 already. Scarlett has no units out on the maps. He's producing her first few roaches, but I'm afraid it's going to be a little bit too late. They will get surrounded immediately. GG in record fashion, 3 minutes and 55 seconds.
3 minutes and 55. That's about as fast as it's gone today, ladies and gentlemen. Not...
True lost his 4 banelings, obviously, that he manually detonated, and a single Zergling to win that game.
Noise.
That is pretty cost efficient.
Cost efficient, I would say. More or less cost efficient than Artosis' favorite StarCraft 2 strategy.
Mech?
Yeah. Well, I don't think you lose no units with that build. So True is
Mech that cost efficient?
he's the god of cost efficiency. Is it?
Aren't you throwing away Hellions all the time?
Oh well, they're free. Come on.
Are they though? If
They're
they don't kill any workers.
They're close enough.
I don't know about those memes. All right, well, that was a very quick game. Game number 2. We'll see which map it is going to be played on. Scarlett already indeed kind of playing what we expect, right? Avoiding that Ling Bane phase, but yeah, that was just too risky. She didn't have her queens on top of her ramp. The Lings were running into the main. If she did have her queens on the ramp, then obviously she's buying time for her roaches to spawn. I still don't like it, by the way, because she still has to deal with that spine. She already lost a couple drones against those Banes, so it wouldn't be great, but the queens not being in position, that was the end.
And can I just say, between you and me, as 2 players that do weird strategies, we know that for True to have detonated those banelings, I can get that it would hit the drones, like it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be 100% certain that I would be able to kill the spine crawler from the other side like that. Like to me, I'm like that seemed like a little bit of a risk. He must have been in that situation at least a few times to know that if the spine crawler is in that exact spot, then he can definitely get it with his banelings.
No, I think you're spot on. The way that True probably saw that is either the spine is too far back and my spine can hit all the drones, or the spine is too far forward.
And I can hit it with the banelings.
And then I can hit it with the Banes. I mean, we all know True. He's had that scenario like 7 times. He's like, guys, why are you even getting excited? I do this stuff all the time. I'm True.
Yeah, I love it. I love that play out of this guy. In the bottom right, representing Storm Gaming. Here is your Red Zerg player. He's True.
So, Nate, over or under 3 minutes and 55 seconds?
Over 3 minutes and 55 seconds.
Over here on the left top side of Acid Plant, we're looking at the main base of our Canadian Zerg player, already top 4. But of course, he would love to do the impossible, and that is advance to the finals. While playing from China, it is Scarlett. Now, I think on this map, it's a little bit easier to maybe get away with a gasless style, right? Just try to get that wall up as quickly as possible. Yeah. Queens, spines. I absolutely believe that Scarlett can get the W here, as long as he can push it into a roach phase.
Yeah, she has to get past the early stage of the game where that ping disadvantage really hurts her, you know. In StarCraft, you talk about, it's like, oh, it's a strategy game. Does it matter that much? It's not a first person. It's like, well, those units, those movements have to be so precise, particularly when it comes to things like using your banelings, as a split second of hesitation can cause you to lose all of your lings and soften up your drones enough for lings to kill them off. It's just a very, very dicey scenario.
There is an extractor, however, on the side of the map of Scarlett, so we'll see what he decides to do. So he could potentially go for some of those crazy Roach Nidus builds as well, right?
Yeah.
Especially against someone like True, who does love his Lings. Maybe if True doesn't pick up on it on time, if he doesn't have any defensive Banelings against a Nidus network in his main, those are all possibilities where I can see Scarlett win. But once again, it's not going to be easy for her.
Nope, not at all. And on this map, that third is a bit out there. It's not crazy easy to hold on to while also being safe from run-bys. So if Scarlett decides to go straight into roaches, I do agree with you that something like a Nidus sounds like a good play just because she's going to be stuck a little. It's going to be hard to move out early on if she doesn't get speed. So she's going to do that. She's going to get her Ling speed together. And let's see if True decides to put on the pressure. He would, I imagine, definitely be the aggressor in a scenario where a Ling Bane war happens, because he's the guy that's like, well, I'm playing on a US server. I think he's in America. So should be able to micro and control with no problem.
Yep. The more fights that happen in the game, the better it should be for someone like True, because there's more and more possibilities for him to make the difference, and for Scarlett it's obviously going to be harder to get somehow an advantage in those battles. But for now, Nate, she's playing it like she's actually with us over here in California. She's going up to 3 bases pretty much at the same time as True is. She's getting her circling speed. So we'll see how this one plays out. Even gets the Baneling Nest now as well. Circling speed is about to finish up. All right, well, I am incredibly curious to see how this one plays out, Nate.
Yeah, when and or if the fight begins, Roddy, as both Zerg players get their thirds together. Which of these two do we like more against Puck then?
I mean, I actually think that Scarlett against Puck will still be very, very entertaining, even if Scarlett is playing from China. She showed us earlier today she's perfectly fine in playing some ZVP with a slightly higher ping. Obviously, I would love to see True against Puck. I mean, what an opportunity this is for Puck, Nate. Damn, Puck in the finals of WCS NA Challenger. I think that's incredibly cool to see. Puck, a very old school player, of course, who had his ups and downs throughout his career. But I think it's fantastic to see him playing this well. He's been spending time in Korea, right? He's been really putting in those hours. He still streams, but he also practices a lot off stream. I am really happy to see Puck playing that well and having this opportunity to take home a WCS Challenger title.
Yeah, it's awesome. The lair is starting up now for True, so seems that he's not going to, and you see that one Baneling detonating on a single link can sometimes be, that's tough control to make. But it doesn't seem that he's going to try to force the issue with a big attack. So True's going to let this game go into that further phase without going for the mega aggression. And Scarlett will start her lair. So, Roddy, it seems we may get that scenario you were discussing where Scarlett gets her dream. She gets to go up to the roaches. We get to see a little bit less of a micro-focused fight.
Or it's Mutalisk.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. Oh, he is getting a Spine Crawler. Maybe.
This could very well be Muta versus Muta.
You think Scarlett will go Mutas? Oh my god.
Yeah, I think they both go Mutas.
Well, this is not something that you see very often.
No, we used to see it a lot more. Then it's obviously the big question, how long will they stay? There is that Spire of True. And I am pretty damn sure that Scarlett is going to throw down her Spire immediately as well, because he still doesn't have an Evo Chamber or Roach Warren, so Spire is pretty much the only thing that makes sense here.
Yeah, it's interesting. It reminds me of the old days, Roddy, back in Heart of the Swarm before they buffed the Spore Crawler.
Scarlett is making an insane amount of drones. He's going up to 70 drones. He barely has any units defensively. Scarlett currently has a single Baneling. He was doing some damage on the other side of the map. No, actually, this is all true. Now Scarlett has a few additional Banes, but Scarlett's playing a very dangerous game here. She went up to 64 drones against the 49 of True, and True is going to try to make some magic happen before the Mutas even come out.
Yeah, and this is what we're going to see if Scarlett can control her units properly. With that ping that we were talking about, the Ling's going to head into the main base for True. This is one of his best known tactics. He is so good with splitting up, getting into multiple bases, hitting with these Ling backstabs, and running around, being as much of a nuisance as possible. He sees the Spire with those Lings. He's still got Zerglings inside of the natural expansion. More Banelings are finishing up outside of the natural. Not going to be able to find any purchase with those blowups just yet, but grabs a Queen on the outside.
Yep, actually a fantastic hold so far. There are still 2 Banelings here that are a little bit scary, but Scarlett handled this incredibly well, Nate. I mean, what does he end up losing in the end? A couple of drones. She was up 15 drones. He's still up 13 drones. And now Scarlett is actually going to be the one that's going to try to counterattack. That's a little bit dangerous, but damn, absolutely fantastic defense. I think she even managed to save that one queen. No, a couple queens did go down, but that's still the okay.
So True's got a lot of mutas. Both players building those Mutalisks. Scarlett going for the Carapace on those Mutalisks a little bit faster, so she's focusing on the long term with this composition.
Nate,
True's not decided to go in on anything like that just yet.
Nate, how do you win a Muta war if you're down more than 12 workers?
Well, I mean, it does come down more to the gas income if you saturate all your geysers, assuming they're on the same number of bases. I think it affects more the ability to produce the Lings that supplement it and expand behind it.
Well, we'll see. True is going to have a few more Mutas at first, but the longer this game goes on, the better it will be for Scarlett. True is actually going for flyer attacks as well, even though everyone is in agreement that Carapace is better. But
True's a very aggressive boy.
Yeah. So he's going to try to pick up a fight here. Of course,
dangerous to fight without knowing who has more Mutalisks.
and taking a fight on the other side of the map, I mean, then you really need to be very sure you've got way more mutas. Once again, there is this one thing where Lynx can actually be very effective in a muta battle as well. And I know that sounds weird, but if you can put Zerglings below your Mutalisk, they can soak up a couple of these bounces.
Scarlett loses one of her Mutalisks that spawns immediately, and I think if you're True, you're like, yes, please. Any mutas that are detached, lower that count, thin it out. But True, trying to make sure that he can get back over to his units. The rest of his forces are going to show up, try to get those Lings underneath to soak up those glaive bounces if possible.
It's not a good fight for Scarlett, I think. Actually, she has a few more. A lot of her mutas are so low in HP, though. I think Scarlett may be overstaying her welcome a tiny bit. At the same time, there is a Link counter as well.
True's going to clean up all of Scarlett's Mutalisks. GG! And True goes up 2-0 in this best of 5.
I actually thought Scarlett was in a good position after she defended that Link Bane attack. She was up in drones. She was still up in drones after all of it.
I wonder if there was something with the larva in terms of how many mutas were in the initial waves, because True was ahead by a few Mutalisks at first, and then I think it was up to 17 versus 12, and then Scarlett had 7 more mutas on the way, and True had 3, and then he kills that one that's spawning, and he gets a couple shots off on the other ones, and then Scarlett goes to fight on his side of the map, and it was like just kind of...
Yeah. It felt unnecessary as well for Scarlett to take a fight there, because True was even bringing a couple Zerglings below those mutas as well, and once again the Lynx can absorb a couple of the bounces, and it looked like Scarlett was doing alright when it came to the numbers, but when it came to the HP on her Mutalisk, she wasn't doing that good, because True had maybe 7 or 8 mutas, but they were all full on HP, and let's say Scarlett had 10 or 11 Mutalisks, but most of them were in the orange or even the red, and yeah, you just can't stick around for that long. Scarlett deciding to tap out after losing that muta fight.
That's a tough one. And, you know, it's weird because I'm like, yeah, well, True got his standard aggression in. True was everywhere with the Zerglings, but it just did not... It didn't matter because, as you pointed out, Scarlett was insanely greedy. So that's why I say, I'm like, maybe she built so many units that she just didn't have enough larvae to spend her gas on the Mutalisks.
I mean, she did lose those queens as well, right, in defending. So
no injects, yeah.
There is a good chance that she had a little less larvae to work with, but her economy was insane. I mean, being up 12, 13 workers, and obviously going 4 bases, pretty much identical moments. Normally promises a lot of good in a muta battle. But Scarlett taking that one fight that she perhaps shouldn't have taken leads us to a scenario where True is up 2-0, just 12 minutes into this series, as we have loaded into Catalyst. And over here on the right bottom side, we're looking at the man who has taken a very early gas nade. He's up 2-0. Can he make it to the finals of Challenger once again? It is True.
Yep. Good. I mean, you're up 2-0. You know your opponent has bad ping. Why not try it? In the top left, fighting for her life, needs to win 3 games in a row versus True. Gonna be tough. She's Scarlett.
Decides to go hedge first on Catalyst against someone like True. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean this is risky or this is crazy, because I know there are a couple Zergs out there. It's like, oh, as long as you drop the pool early enough, you can hold any aggression, and it's actually not that bad. Worst case scenario is that you end up even, but this obviously does mean that things are gonna get dicey. Oh my goodness, Nate, he's making 3 more drones. If he takes the gas before the pool, well, he won't do that, but oh my goodness, he will.
Oh,
well,
no.
Oh no, this doesn't look good.
Nope.
This is a very, for you guys wondering, why does this not look good? This spawning pool is just incredibly late.
It's as late as it really could be with the standard Zerg build.
Yeah, unless you go double hedge before pool, but
yeah,
that's obviously suicide against someone like True, and in general in ZVZ, that's very, very, very risky. True decides to drop the Baneling Nest right after he started researching Zergling speed. Scarlett is going to spot these Lings, and I wonder what's going through her mind. She makes another drone, by the way.
She's like, well, my pool's not even done. It's just past halfway.
So what do you do?
I mean, you can try to pull drones. I guess build a spine at the end of the creep. Let you sack the natural. I have no idea.
This is going to be incredibly difficult, because it's not going to just be the Zerglings of True. There's going to be a Baneling Nest right next to the spine crawl as well. That's kind of nice. It protects his spine from being so fully surrounded. It's kind of cute, but this hatchery is going to be in a lot of trouble. But I'm more worried about the drones of Scarlett, because right now the hatch is in trouble, and yeah, that can get dicey. But the moment these Lings are going to morph into Banelings, that's when I'm going to start worrying about the drones as well. True is actually picking off.
Yeah, grabbed one of Scarlett's Lings right as it morphed. Now he goes at the ramp, and he's like, oh, this is what you've got? There's that spine crawler? Well, he can circumvent it. He could try to go for, yeah, get that damage in on it before it finishes up.
I mean, if you already have speed, you can just run past, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is he has that option. The slow Lings are going to do a very bad job trying to stop him. He is making sure to cross his T's and dot his I's, as he wants to make sure that he has killed that hatchery first.
You can just avoid the spine, and then you go for the mineral line, and
Yep.
there isn't much here. Scarlett's
Look
going
at
to try
that
to
Evo.
create some Sim City, but there's only a single defensive Baneling for Scarlett. That one is going to get cancelled. Nate, close your eyes.
Oh my goodness, the Banelings being blocked by Scarlett's Queen. The Banelings detonate on her drones, and well, Roddy, I don't have too much else to say here. True's gotten a lot of damage done, and it is the party has not stopped for True. GG 3-0. It's going to be True versus Puck in the grand finals.
That's going to be an amazing grand finals. I am very excited for it. Once again, this was just a very tough series for Scarlett to play with that ping in this matchup.
Yep.
Is very difficult. The fact that she made it this far, excuse me, playing from China is already very impressive. I can't wait to see Scarlett in Valencia, by the way, Nate, because I really feel a lot of people are starting to underrate Scarlett, you know, saying like, she had a couple of disappointing tournaments. Scarlett is not as good as she used to be. I strongly disagree. I still really believe in a very deep run by Scarlett in Valencia, and I'm excited to see her play there.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Americans are going to bring to WCS Valencia. Austin was a bit underwhelming, I think, for everybody, aside from Special Relay. And, well, that sets up our bracket for our grand finale of the World Championship Series America. We got Puck going up against True in a PVZ.
Nate, I'm already smiling. Yeah, no, this is an amazing grand final. It really is. Puck with his cool builds. He's got a lot of fancy tricks up his sleeve, going up against one of the most aggressive Zergs out there in the name of True. If Pig was casting this best of 7, he would say it's going to be a guaranteed bloodbath, because
Can't wait. Bloodbath coming up next here on WCS.